Hello there guys, welcome to another my live video. So I'm just on this video, gonna say, what I think Solsjkaer got wrong in the game against Liverpool yesterday. You saw my match reaction. Manchester United lost by 2 goals to nil. But I've got to say before I get into that, Liverpool are strides ahead of us at the moment. The question is, how long is it going to take us to emulate to Liverpool's level? And definitely, one of the explanations is, furthermore investment is needed in the squad. And I think, we need to see a variety of changes at the football club. We need a change of management. We need to get rid of our current board. We need to get rid of the Glazers. We need to get rid of Ed Woodward. There's still more players that need to leave Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. But I think, Liverpool could go undefeated this season. So if Liverpool can do that this season, they will only be the second team in the Premier League era to go undefeated all season. The last team to do it was Arsenal back in 2004. So Liverpool have won 21 games out of 22 so far this season. We're the only team that have taken any points from them so far this season. They are unbeaten in 39 Premier League games. They are unbeaten in 52 Premier League games at Anfield. They haven't lost at Anfield for almost 3 years. And they're on like 60 odd points. So they're sitting 30 points ahead of us. They are 19 points in front of Leicester, 16 points in front of Man City, also with a game in hand. But, Solskjaer was coming out, prior to the game, and he was like saying that, Liverpool have not yet matched Alex Ferguson's side. So what he means in that aspect is that, he's saying Liverpool's team at this day and age is not on the same level as the team, we had under Alex Ferguson. And he was also saying that, Liverpool are not the greatest team until they win back-to-back titles. But of course, Liverpool are going to be winning their first ever Premier League title this season. So that in that aspect, that means they're going to end their 30-year drought because, they haven't won it for 30 years. And Solskjaer still believes, even though we've been inconsistent since Ferguson's retirement back in 2013, that it will not take Man United another 30 years to win another Premier League title. So this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said. But I've got to say, Liverpool are the best team in England, probably one of the best teams in the world at the moment. They've got a really, really good squad. They've also got a fantastic manager, through Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp so far has won 3 major honours with Liverpool. The most recent trophy Liverpool won was the FIFA Club World Cup earlier on in the season. They won the Super Cup earlier on in the season, and they also won the Champions League at the end of last season. So he's on course to win his 4th major honour with Liverpool, and Jurgen Klopp has got a contract with Liverpool until 2024. But like I said on my match reaction yesterday, I did say, the comparison between Liverpool and Man United is that, Liverpool don't overpay for players. They're sensible with their recruitment. They're also players a unit, and Manchester United do not do this because we overpay for players. Prime example, we paid 80 million for Maguire. We paid 50 million for Fred, 89 million pounds for Paul Pogba, 40 million pounds for Matic, and of course we don't play as a unit. So yesterday Solskjaer lost his first managerial appearance at Anfield, and it's the first time actually that Jurgen Klopp has beaten us, since we recommended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in as Manchester United manager. But Jurgen Klopp and Solskjaer have played each other now 3 times. There's been 2 draws, and Liverpool have won 1. But I've got to say, Liverpool fully deserved the victory yesterday. Like I said on my match reaction, there was for the vast majority of the game, Liverpool dominated. They controlled the game. They passed the ball well. They created some decent chances, and Liverpool will be just disappointed that there wasn't out of sight at half time. Liverpool of course went 1-0 up through Virgil van Dijk. I think, the blame stems from Brandon Williams because obviously, Brandon Williams shouldn't have even attempted to mark Virgil van Dijk because, like I said, the foot is totally comparison. Van Dijk's like, 6'5", Brandon Williams is like, 5'5", 5'6". So really, Harry Maguire should have been marking him. But to be fair, it was a really, really good header. But as soon as Liverpool scored, they took control of the game. Mane had chances. David De Gea had to make a world-class save. Firmino had chances. Liverpool also had 2 disallowed goals in the game. Jorginho Wijnaldum's third goal obviously was offside. But there's a lot of controversy regarding the second goal, and a lot of people do believe that that should have stood, that second goal. The main explanation why the goal had been disallowed was due to the alleged foul on David De Gea from Virgil van Dijk. But either way, the goal had been disallowed and that. But I thought there was slight periods where Man United, did okay. Our two best chances in the game were from Andres Pereira. He missed a sitter in the first half. He had a couple of decent chances, Pereira, and I don't think it was too bad. Obviously, Martial missed a glorious opportunity in the second half. The build-up play was good, but the finishing just wasn't there. Liverpool again had two fantastic chances in the second half. Salah missed a sitter. Jordan Henderson had hit the post. But Liverpool's second goal came right at the end through Mohamed Salah, and it was actually Alisson that got the assist. It was a long throw out from Alisson. Mohamed Salah receives it, and he calmly finishes it, and that's 2-0. And we haven't won at Anfield since 2016. So in recent years, our record at Anfield has been very, very poor, definitely. But yeah, definitely Liverpool are going to win the league this season. Obviously, they're still in the Champions League in Liverpool. They won't be too bothered about the Champions League. Of course, they are still in the FA Cup. Probably Liverpool will see the FA Cup as more of a chance, to give their young players opportunities such as Curtis Jones, who scored in the game against Everton. Also to Takumi Minamino, who they did sign from Red Bull Salzburg for just over £7 million. I believe he'll get more in Liverpool's team next season, definitely. But yeah, Liverpool are definitely going to win the Premier League, and it will be their 19th all in all. We're currently on 20 titles at the moment, because Man United and Liverpool are the two most successful clubs in England historically. You've got a lot of United fans saying, that they're honest that Liverpool are going to win the title this season, but they've still got another 12 Premier League titles to catch up to us, because of course we've won 13 Premier League titles. But I've got to say, I thought there were some good individual performances yesterday. I thought, Bissaka did quite well. He made some decent challenges. I think Wan-Bissaka's been one of our best signings. He's done really, really well for us. Lindelof wasn't too bad at the back. I thought his distribution were good. He did quite well, Lindelof. I don't think Maguire was too good. That was his first game as captain yesterday for Man United. Brandon Williams, I don't think he was too bad. Luke Shaw wasn't too bad. Matic did well defensively. Fred was okay in the game. But I just think Martial and Daniel James were so quiet in the game because we couldn't really give them enough service. And, but when Martial did have the ball, he did look dangerous. But I've got to say, for vast majority of that first half, especially, we were struggling to get out of our own 6-yard box because Liverpool were applying so much pressure to obviously, make us do individual mistakes. I don't think we registered a single shot on target till like the 40th minute of the game. So that just indicates how bad we are at the moment. And you've got quite a lot of United fans saying, if Rashford had played yesterday, maybe we would have got a draw, because I said there was certain aspects of the game where we did all right. But that's not excusable, because I still think if we would have had Rashford on the pitch, we wouldn't have won that game. As you all know, Rashford is out now for up to 6 weeks, or could be up to 6 weeks, with a double stress fracture in his back. So obviously, the injury must be quite severe. And like I said, Rashford's been one of our best players this season. He's been in scintillating form. Rashford is on 63 senior goals for the football club. This is since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. He's on 19 goals in all competitions this season. So he is going to be a big miss, is Marcus Rashford. And he was injured early on this season. He was injured towards the back end of last season. But now, reflecting on Marcus Rashford's injury, Solsjkaer's come out after the game yesterday against Liverpool, and he says Man United will probably have to delve into the current transfer market to get short-term deals. So maybe we're going to consider making some loan moves, because definitely now where we need a striker with the injury to Rashford. I know we've got the likes of Martial, but I don't think I think his performances have been in comparison to Rashford's. I think Rashford's performed much better than Martial. I think Martial's had a lot of good games this season, but he's had quite a few injuries this season. Don't get me wrong, Martial plays well in that number 9 role, but I just thought he was a bit quiet yesterday. You've got James. He wasn't too good yesterday, and James, I think in the last month or so, he hasn't performed to the standards I should expect from him. But I think prior to a month, he's been bad. I think for the rest of this season so far, he's done really, really well as Daniel James. So I will credit him in that aspect, because obviously he come all the way from the Championship to the Premier League. And I think he's done really, really well for Man United. We only paid £15 million for him. You're getting a lot of people saying if we'd have had Pogba yesterday and McTominay, we might have got something out of the game. Because you can say Pogba and McTominay are two big misses for Manchester United. Because Pogba, I think, is out until the end of this month or until early February. McTominay's out until early February, I think. But you can say, due to their injuries, we do look very exposed in that midfield. But we've had a lot of injuries this season, but that's not excusable for how inconsistent we've been. Definitely not. And the good news is, Bay's now back from injury because he was out with a knee injury since pre-season. Don't forget Bay's been playing for the under-23s. Fosu, he's also back from his knee injury he had. He's also been playing for the under-23s. So at least, some players have come back from injury. Diego Dalot's back for us now. Luke Shaw's just come back from a hamstring problem. And Luke Shaw is definitely now very injury prone. He's very, very injury prone. So I think what Solskjaer got wrong yesterday in the game against Liverpool is that I think the team selection was wrong. I think Brandon Williams should have played at left back. I don't think Luke Shaw should have played at all. I think Williams should have been at left back. Williams should not have been playing at left wing. I think Mason Greenwood should have started the game. He came on in the game, but he didn't start the game. And I've said to you on my other videos, Mason Greenwood should be playing more on a regular basis in the Premier League. He needs to get more starts. Because as I think Mason Greenwood, when he develops more, I think he'll emulate to Rashford and Martial's level. He probably will end up overtaking them in time to come. He's obviously being considered by Gareth Southgate for the European Championships, but Solskjaer's reacted to that and he's dismissed it for now because he wants Mason Greenwood to focus on his football. But Greenwood's on 19 goals for the football club this season in 20-odd first-team appearances. So he should have started yesterday. There's also people saying maybe Juan Mata should have started in that game. And again, he came on in the second half, did Juan Mata. But I think we should have started Juan Mata. And I think he needs to get more starts. I know he's 32, 33 now and he's lost that yard of pace. But prior to the game yesterday, he was in a good run of form. He scored in the game against Wolves. He provided 2 assists against Norwich the other week. So he can still play very, very well for Man United. Can Juan Mata. So I think that's what Solskjaer definitely got wrong. He obviously went with a 4-2-3-1 formation. That formation was totally comparison to the one he went with at Old Trafford against Liverpool early on in the season. Because in the game at Old Trafford early on in the season, he went with 3 at the back. And in that particular game, that formation seemed to have suited our standards. So I think he needs to go with a different formation. Should go with 3 at the back or maybe go with a 4-3-3. I don't know. But, Solskjaer's been tactically naive for the vast majority of this season anyway. Doesn't really seem to have a plan B. And that's definitely my element of concerns about him. That's definitely my element of concerns about him and that. But I think he definitely got it wrong. But very, very disappointing result against Liverpool. I expected more from Man United. I expected us to lose the game, of course, but I expected to see more fight and passion from Man United, as obviously Man United and Liverpool is a big game. Obviously, we lost at Anfield last season 3-1. In terms of the shots and that, it was totally comparison to last season because obviously, last season, Liverpool had around 36, 37 shots compared to our 5. And obviously, reflects on that win last season against us, that had ended Jose Mourinho's 2.5-year tenure at Man United. But honestly, I can see Liverpool going undefeated this season. Liverpool themselves have had injuries this season, so from our perspective, injuries not excusable because Liverpool have had Chamberlain come back from injury. Shaqiri's just come back from injury. Matip's just come back from injury. Fabinho's just come back from injury. They've still got Lovren, Milner and Naby Keita out through injury, so it isn't excusable. So if Liverpool hadn't have had any injuries this season, God knows where they would have been, to be quite honest with you. But like I said, very, very good team. They've got the best centre-half in the world through Virgil van Dijk, who they paid £75 million for. They've got Andrew Robinson, they've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who are 2 fantastic fullbacks for them. They've got a fantastic midfield. Maybe Liverpool have got too many midfielders, so maybe they could consider offloading some midfielders. and they've got a great attacking trio in Salah, Firmino, and Mane. And I've got to say, I think Firmino and Mane have been better than Salah this season. Salah's still a very, very good player, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't been as good this season as we all thought he would have been, to be quite honest with you. But, Liverpool have come close on a few occasions to winning the title. They was unlucky last season. Last season, Liverpool finished on 97 points. They finished just 1 point behind Man City last season. They came close under the Brendan Rodgers era. They enjoyed one good season under Brendan Rodgers. I think Liverpool could get to 100 points this season, maybe even more. So obviously, they're going to replicate what Man City did a couple of years ago, the Citizens, because City did finish on 100 points a couple of years ago, definitely. But, I fear this Liverpool team, I really, really do, you know. But, we are still in that top four race, despite the defeat. We are still in that top four race, don't fully disregard that top four. But the main explanation why we are in that top four is because Chelsea have been in a bad vein of form. If Chelsea hadn't been in this bad vein of form, we would have been out of that top four race now. Chelsea lost at the weekend to Newcastle by 1-0. So we've got quite a few ambitions. We need to get that top four this season to get Champions League football for next season. We need to get some silverware on the board. That's also very imperative because we have that silverware in the last 6 or 7 years. It'd be good for us to win the Europa League. That's another route to Champions League football. It'd be good for us to win the FA Cup. It'd be also very, very good for us to win, the Carabao Cup, but I don't see that happening now. It's looking likely without with the Carabao Cup. So I think for Solskjaer to be given another season at Man United, and this is his first full season at the club, I think we need top four and we need some silver on the board. Then I think the club will be determined to give him another season. If Solskjaer doesn't exceed these expectations at the end, by the end of this season, then I think he will be gone. And more than likely, the football club will recommend Mauricio Pochettino indefinitely. And that's who I think Man United's next manager is going to be if the club do decide to sack Solskjaer. Obviously, it's been revealed not too long ago how much it will cost Man United to sack Solskjaer. And it said, we'll have to pay around £5 million to get rid of Solskjaer, which is around £15 million less than what we paid to get rid of Mourinho. We paid around £89 million to get rid of Louis van Gaal. We paid around, was it £5 or £6 million to get rid of David Moyes. But I think it would be the right solution to get rid of Solskjaer. But maybe not at this moment in time. Solskjaer's got still around 2.5 years left on his deal with the club because Solskjaer signed a 3-year contract when he had been given the job in March of last year. And I think that was one of the mistakes Man United did make, was giving Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis. I don't think we should have ever recommended Solskjaer in the first place. I think after the sacking of Jose Mourinho in December 2018, we should have then recommended Mauricio Pochettino in, even though we did then at that point would have had to pay something in compensation. But I've already given you the explanations why we went with Solskjaer, because Solskjaer did well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. Also, it was a cheaper solution. Also, he knows the club inside out, as Pochettino doesn't. But we need to get Mauricio Pochettino. And don't get me wrong, due to our inconsistency, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. I think everyone else has got to be accountable. The board, Ed Woodward, the Glazers. A lot of United fans have been protesting Ed Woodward and the Glazers. And I think some of the players are to blame because there's still a lot of players here that are not good enough for Manchester United. And like I said, the vast majority of these players are not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. There's only 3 players that are his at this present time. And the 3 players he recommended in last summer, and we spent nearly £150 million on them. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's. He spent a lot of money at the club. There's still players here from the Van Gaal era. There's Matty from the David Moyes era. And there's still some players here from the Alex Ferguson era. Only about 2 or 3, I think, from the Alex Ferguson era. But, he's still in the process of rebuilding. So I think the club are determined to give him a couple more windows. So we're going to back him in this January transfer window. We're also going to see who we can recommend into the football club in the summer. But there is a lot of players on our agenda. When are Manchester United next going to win the title or at least compete for the title? Well, I don't know. I don't think we're going to win the title for several years. In all honesty, I think it's going to take us another 7 or 8 years to mount any kind of title challenge up. I'm going to be honest with you. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That was in the last time I won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. And I think in next couple of seasons, definitely our aspirations will be that top four. But we need at least 5 or 6 more signings if we are to be up there, challenging for major honours, arguably even more. But the two main priority areas where Man United need to strengthen up, we need to strengthen up in that midfield. We need a striker now, reflect on the injury to Rashford. I don't think Solskjaer's got many element of concerns regarding that fullback position because obviously, the lot's back now. Brandon Williams has done well. But obviously, Young's just left the football club. So could we consider getting a replacement in for Ashley Young? But probably we don't need one because obviously Wan-Bissaka has done well since he's come in and obviously he's our first choice right back. you know. But yeah, some people have said, Man United do need a right winner. But like I've said, Solskjaer is not the right manager for Man United. As a player, fantastic. Has got that proven pedigree as a player. But I think as a manager, he's just totally comparison. Man United is the third club he's managing. Before he was at Man United, he was at Mould. Won a couple of Norwegian titles with Mould. Before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff, and obviously enjoyed a really short tenure with Cardiff because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated, did Solskjaer, but just not good enough as a manager, just isn't good enough. And I think the only reason we're sticking by him is because he's a club legend. I think disregarding Solskjaer being a club legend, he would have been sacked by now. Definitely, he would have been sacked by now. But Solskjaer is aware that he is under intense pressure at the football club. And I did say at the start of this season that I expect us to enjoy a better season this season than what we saw last season, because last season we finished sixth. I think the lowest we've ever finished in the Premier League era was back under the David Moyes era when we finished seventh. And our away form's absolutely appalling. We haven't scored in our last 3 away games. We've been very, very poor away from home. We've had some decent results against elite opposition this season. Prime example, beat Wolves in the Cup, beat City early on the season, beat Tottenham. You can say them 2 games saved Solskjaer at Man United. We beat Chelsea at the beginning of the season. We beat Leicester. So them reflect on them results. That brings a bit of belief, and it proves that we can compete against good teams. But we're just going nowhere under Mulligan and Solskjaer. We're just going absolutely nowhere. But I understand that we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers because we're not really known for the sacking football club, despite the fact that we've sacked 3 managers since the Alex Ferguson era. Moyes went, Louis van Gaal went, and Jose Mourinho went, and Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager in that. But Solskjaer won't invoke Ferguson's legacy. I don't think any manager would invoke Ferguson's legacy, especially not at Manchester United, definitely not. But we need to see a variety of changes at the football club without a shadow of a doubt. And, some people say if Solskjaer is to be given time, then maybe he could emulate into like a Jurgen Klopp, because Jurgen Klopp didn't settle in straight away with Liverpool. But I just don't see that happening. I honestly, don't. So we need a change of manager. Director of football, should have got one in last summer, but we didn't. I said that's one of the structural changes that we need to see at the football club, definitely. But I've got to be honest with you guys, I think the players that need to leave this football club, we know Young's obviously left, he's gone to Inter Milan. He's the first player to leave in 2020 for us. I think we need to get rid of Phil Jones. We need to get rid of Marcus Rojo. We need to get Matic out of the club. Too slow, got too many element of concerns about him. We need to get Jesse Lingard out. He's been dropped recently due to his bad run of performances, and he's been here several years as Jesse Lingard, and he should be putting much more better performances out, especially reflect on his status at the club. Chong, not good enough yet. Get rid of him. I think we need to loan him out because he's not on that level as yet. Some people say get rid of Luke Shaw. So there's still a lot of players that need to leave Manchester United. But I think there's aspects of me that credit Solskjaer though, because I think he's got some of his team selections right in certain games this season, and also he's got a lot of trustworthy in his young players in that. And he confirmed when he came in that the young players would get given their opportunities, which is, very, very good, to be fair. And there's a lot of young players, I think, that are going to become a success at the club. And Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players into Manchester United. He still wants to continue doing that. And in that aspect, he replicates Ferguson, because don't forget, Ferguson developed a lot of young players. But like I've said, despite the fact we've been a toxic football club for the last 6 or 7 years, we are still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We are the most successful team in England historically, reflect on the amount of titles we've won. So we are. We are one of the biggest clubs in the world. But I think why we've been a toxic football club for the last 6 or 7 years, there's a few explanations to it, because I think the vast majority of the money we've spent on recruiting players they haven't been the right calibre players for the club. I think there's some players we've got rid of over the years who we shouldn't have got rid of. I think, we've selected the wrong managers. Prime example, Ferguson should have never recommended Moyes in. I think we got Jose Mourinho in too late. We should have got him in after Alex Ferguson. And yeah, that's the reasons. And we shouldn't have given Solskjaer the job. That's another mistake Man United made. And yeah. And also a lot of money's been spent at Man United. We've spent nearly £1 billion on recruiting new players in over the last 6 or 7 years. And not only that, we've also got players on big contracts at the football club. But I did say, didn't I, this team now we've got this day and age, I said I was hopeful that this team at this day and age can replicate what the team did under Alex Ferguson. We had great players under Ferguson. You had the likes of Ryan Giggs. He endured 24 years at the club. He's made the most appearances for Man United, 968 he made. Obviously was the interim manager at one point for a short period before we got Van Gaal in. Michael Carrick, he endured 12 years at the football club. He's now obviously one of the coaching staff. Is Michael Carrick. We had a fantastic centre-back partnership in Rio Ferdinand and Vidic. And I'm hopeful that Maguire and Lindelof can emulate into like a Vidic and Ferdinand, definitely. We had Paul Scholes. We had great players in that. And, we had Robin Van Persie. He was fantastic for us in Alex Ferguson's last season. He scored around 30 goals. So you can say in that particular season, Robin Van Persie won us the league. But this team this day and age is not going to replicate what the team did under Ferguson. Definitely not. And nothing much more to say. There'll be more videos coming up soon. Man United go up against Burnley on Wednesday, 8:15 at Old Trafford. Preview should be coming up for that either later on today or sometime tomorrow, as we always do on this channel. There's a list of games this week, by the way. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.